Hello and welcome to this very, very exciting episode of Puck Drop. As today, yeah, that's right, Jordan. Today, we are going to discuss our playoff bracket predictions. If you want to know more about our play-in round predictions, you should probably go watch one of our previous Puck Drop episodes. Which episode was that again, Jacob?
That will be linked.
We'll link it in the description. I think it was the one where we react when Gary Bettman first announced the officially announced the playoff format. I think it was that episode.
I'm kind of embarrassed that we don't know our own episode.
I think it's episode like 5.
It was the link or whatever Ryan does.
I think it was episode 6 because I think it was the episode before the Jack Michaels episode.
All right, let's move on. Go ahead, Jacob.
All right, so basically what's going to happen, we are going to go, we each created our own playoff brackets, and I created fancy schmancy graphics. We're going to go through each of us, and we're going to go round by round. So let's talk. The order I have, we're going to go me, then Ryan, then Jordan, just because that's the order I guess height order. Sure.
Wow.
Anyway, me. Here is my starting bracket. First off, I'm going to say that for the round robin, I have St. Louis, Colorado, Vegas, and Dallas as the standings in the West, Tampa, Washington, Boston, Philly in the East. So now let's get into the real meat. So here is who I have winning the play-in round. My predictions have changed, I think, a little bit. I have Winnipeg beating Calgary, Edmonton beating Chicago, Nashville beating Arizona. I have Minnesota beating Vancouver, which I did not predict in our last predictions. Toronto beating Columbus, Pittsburgh beating Montreal. This is the other one that I think I changed my predictions. I have the Rangers beating the Hurricanes, not because I like the Rangers. Well, first of all, I think it'd actually be better for the Devils if the Rangers beat the Hurricanes because they're going to get smacked in the first round most likely, and this way they don't have a shot at Lafreniere. And then the third and final prediction, I think I changed it. I now have the Florida Panthers beating the New York Islanders. So, yeah, these are all my first round predictions. Now let's go on to the second round, and I have a few upsets here. First of all, this is not an upset. I have St. Louis beating Winnipeg, Colorado beating Edmonton. This series would be really fun. It's going to be really fun to watch, by the way, if it does end up happening. Just two high-flying offensive teams, McKinnon versus McDavid. That's going to be really fun, or if it does happen. This series would be really fun if my series just went off because I said series. Stop.
Wow.
A classic. Anyway.
If there was fans, this would be the best series of all the playoffs, just because Vegas and Nashville probably have the two best fan bases in the most, not best, but most excited, electric, most exciting.
I would say the most exciting and hyped up fan bases in the Western.
Yeah, in the NHL.
Western Conference.
This is my one of two upsets I really have. I have Minnesota upsetting Dallas in round 1 and moving on to the second round. I have Tampa beating Toronto, Washington beating Pittsburgh, Boston beating the Rangers, and then my second upset, I have the Florida Panthers upsetting the Flyers and going to the second round.
You really think Giroux's going to let that happen?
I do really like the Flyers. I like Carter Hart. Carter Hart is a very good young goaltender.
Yeah.
Their blue line, while they don't really have Provorov as a great player, but they don't really have a defined number one defenseman. Provorov is their number one defenseman. They don't have a defined elite defenseman, and they have a great forward group. But again, no superstar player. Drew is amazing, but he had a down year this year.
I'm going to say this right now. The Florida Panthers might just be the worst team in this playoffs, in my opinion.
Real? Not, the Montreal Canadiens?
Yeah, come on, Ryan.
First of all, I would just like to say I'm excluding the play-in round.
Okay. You mean out of all the teams I have here?
I'm talking about everything you made after the play-in round.
Oh, okay.
They're the worst team.
All right, let's keep going.
Well, hold on. I'm just going to tell you I'll tell you my argument in the next one. I have the Avalanche.
No!
I have the Avalanche beating the St. Louis Blues, the reigning champs. Vegas beating the Minnesota Wild. Their run is over. And Tampa beating Toronto. and Tampa beating Toronto, and then the Florida Panthers upsetting the Boston Bruins.
That's not possible.
Boston's a great team, but knowing the NHL, something crazy is going to happen in this playoffs, and I'm predicting Florida going to run, especially because, first of all, they have easily one of the best, most underrated forward groups in the NHL. Sasha Barkov, and now probably the new most underrated player in the NHL, Jonathan Huberdeau, who I love. I love Jonathan Huberdeau. They also have really a lot of depth. Frank Vetrano, Brett Connolly, lots of guys in that bottom six. Their blue line, while it was not great this year, the foundation is there. I love Aaron Ekblad. Keith Yandel can drive a power play with his eyes closed and his hands tied behind his back. And if Sergei Bobrovsky turns it on, there is a very good chance Florida can go and run here, which is why I have them going to conference finals.
You make a good point.
But I don't think they're getting past Tampa. And I have the Colorado Avalanche and the Tampa Bay Lightning in the Stanley Cup Finals. And, I think it's going to be really close. Tampa going to their second finals in 5 years. And Colorado going to their first Stanley Cup Finals since they won the Cup in 2001 and they beat the Devils. And I think they're going to win their first Stanley Cup since 2001. I just love the group that they have in there in Colorado.
Wow.
Nathan McKinnon easily deserves to win the Hart Trophy this year, in my opinion. And their main problem last year was they only had three guys. They had Rantanen, Landeskog, and McKinnon last year in the playoffs. Well, over the past year, they've added lots of depth. Going back from most recent to least recent, Vladislav Nemestikov looked great in Colorado after being acquired at the trade deadline. Andrei Burakovsky had a fantastic year. Jonas Donskoy is a known playoff performer. And really, they've just built, and they have Nazem Kadri now, who, hopefully he doesn't get suspended again like he has the past 2 years in the playoffs. But still, they built up a lot of depth up front. Their blue line is extremely underrated. Eric Johnson is a great shutdown defenseman. Cal McCarr, a fantastic season, and Sam Girard can just spin for days and has really great edges. But so yeah, Philip, they have two also really great goalies. If one of them flops, and Paul Francouz and Philip Grubauer, so that's why I'm predicting Colorado Avalanche should just edge out the Tampa Bay Lightning for the Stanley Cup. I'll say 7 games.
Okay, I like that.
And more heartbreak for that Lightning group.
Everybody give Jacob a round of applause.
But let's go on.
Golf clap.
Yes, golf clap. All right, my turn now. Are you guys ready for me to take the floor?
No.
Ha, good one. All right, Jacob, on you.
I'm just looking at your winners, and I can get behind all of them except, can you explain why you predicted the Montreal Canadiens to beat the Pittsburgh Penguins?
Oh, yeah. I didn't notice that.
I'm just going to skip reacting to every series because I don't really care about any of them right now. These are the early rounds. I'm going to talk about that series because that is one of the upsets that I predicted. If you take a look at it, the average NHL playoffs has at the bare minimum 2 massive upsets. And I know that you guys are so into, really downgrading the goalkeeper for the Montreal Canadiens. I think that you guys downgrade him a lot. I think that he's a great player, and I think that he's going to have a fantastic playoffs. And I just think that he's just going to, just go on a run. And that happens, upsets happen in the playoffs.
That is true, but in Montreal, they have a good team. It's just
they don't have a great team. They can't beat the Penguins, in my opinion.
Well, let me put it this way. Last year, when Tampa lost, they were playing against not too great of a team.
But see, these are the results of your first round victors. I'm looking at it, and you have an upset team. You have the Wild beating the Avalanche. You have the Wild beating my Stanley Cup champions in the first round. You explain that.
You have Nashville beating the Stars. You got Philly beating the Isles. Yeah.
You guys can question me all you want. It's just the truth is that upsets are hockey. If you look at hockey playoffs, the definition is upsets. And I really do think that the Wild are just going to be one of those teams. They had a good regular season, Nobody expected them to bounce, and look at them. They're all the way. They're on their way to basically. They're just a round behind the conference finals. You never know what can happen. I think that Vegas and Edmonton is a great series. I think that that's going to be a fun one to watch. I honestly think that McDavid and Draisaitl won't be able to prevail past Pacioretty. I just think that Vegas is just going to plow through them. It's going to be a close one, but I think that Vegas will, finish it in style. In terms of Eastern Conference, Toronto and Tampa, I feel like was a really good game, but I had to go with Tampa. I think that Tampa's, when they were handed the upset stool, I guess you can say, what would you call it?
When they choked. Just say when they choked.
They've been choking the past couple of years. They've been regular season domination. It seems like they've switched place with the Capitals. I would say that they're done with that. I think that they're a good team that's going to prevail. Boston, Montreal. Again, Montreal, they were able to prevail in the first round, in my opinion, past the team that won 2 cups this decade. This half decade, I should actually say, even more recent. Are they going to be able to prevail past Boston? No. Boston's a really good team. They're fantastic. And Washington, Carolina. Well, I mean, come on. Washington, 2018 Stanley Cup winners. They have a great roster. They have T.J. Oshie, who in my opinion is one of the most underrated NHL players. That's his name. They have Ovechkin, too. They are just going to wreck through Carolina. And in terms of the Islanders and Philadelphia, what can I say? I just think that the Flyers are the better team. I really think Claude Giroux is a fantastic player, regardless of the fact that this might not have been his best season. Next round, please. Okay, conference finals. We're going to get right to the juice now.
My God. All right.
This is my opinion, Jordan. Would you let me explain?
Yes, I'm just commenting.
Okay. All right. Now let me get started with this. Now, first of all, I just wanted to say that I thought that one of the best series of the round previous to this would definitely be Minnesota and Nashville. 2 teams you did not expect to be where they were. That made it to that round, and I honestly think that Minnesota was able to prevail. But are they going to be able to beat the defending Stanley Cup champions? Absolutely not. I don't think they are. I honestly think that St. Louis is barely going to prevail past Vegas. I think that Vegas is a great team. I think that everywhere from the goalkeeper to the center, just a fantastic roster. They have a new coach and all that stuff. But I just don't think they're going to be able to prevail past St. Louis. They're a good-looking team that's just not going to be able to pass through a Stanley Cup winning team. And Jacob, put your hand down. I'm not done talking. All right. In terms of the Eastern Conference, Tampa and Washington. Tampa is a good team. Tampa has choked a lot, but I think they have broken it. But are they going to be able to pass the 2018 Stanley Cup champions? Are we going to see 2018 versus 2019, Jacob?
Yes.
Yes, we are. 2018 Stanley Cup champions, Alex Ovechkin's Washington Capitals, the capital of the United States of America versus the music capital of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to St. Louis. It is Stanley Cup 2018 versus 2019 right here in 2020. And I'm going to say it's going to be a fun one, but that's right. In 7 games, probably we'll see a couple overtimes in that 7-game series. The Washington Capitals are going to take that cup back. And trust me, they're going to enjoy it even more than they did the first time. They're going to dethrone St. Louis. What do you guys think of my entire bracket?
I think I disagree with the Wild. I don't think they're gonna go. I don't think they're gonna make it past the play-in round. But
I say one thing.
You're bold. You're going bold. The rest of your bracket is pretty respectable. I highly disagree with the Canadians, but at least you have Boston beating them.
Ryan.
Jordan, I
think your bracket is overall pretty good.
Thank you. I just want to say one thing. According to, actually, I think I found this from Urinating Tree. Don't take my word on this, but the average Stanley Cup playoffs since 2000 has averaged at the bare minimum of 2 major upsets.
Yeah.
You picked. I just disagree with you, but pretty good.
I agree with that, but Jordan, do you think that the upsets I chose are maybe just the slightest bit more realistic than Ryan's?
I'd say that.
Well, let's see. I think
also, Ryan, you said St. Louis is the music capital of the world. It says here Austin, Texas is the music capital of the world.
Sorry. They're a hockey team. The blues capital of the world, okay? I'm sorry. That was my fault.
Ryan, I'm just going to say something. I think you overrate not Vegas. Vegas is a very good team. I think you overrate Marc-Andre Fleury just a little.
You do. I agree.
He's a fantastic goal. He's a fantastic goalie, but over the past couple seasons,
he's not even going to be the prime player. It's not going to be him. It's going to be Pacioretty. Pacioretty's going to tear through this team. Tear through this playoffs.
All right.
I think their best player is Mark Stone. I
think Stone's a great player, but I could just see Pacioretty. You got to be realistic here, Jacob. Not every playoffs is based off of the regular season. Things are going to change. Players are going to be different than they were in the regular season, especially after this quarantine.
Yeah, make a good point. Yeah. Should we move on?
Vegas is a well-rested team. Vegas is a fantastic team. They have money put into their team. I don't understand how they could struggle. Can you just go back for 1 second, Jacob? Just 1 second. I just want to point one more thing out. And in terms of Eastern Conference, the reason why I'm saying Washington is because it seems like Washington has repeatedly, every single year, shown up unfortunate and just crashed the playoffs. And they showed in 2018 that that's not true anymore. And so considering the fact that they're not unlucky anymore, I think that with the talent they have, they should plow through this Eastern Conference.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's move on.
Let's move on to Jordan.
Okay, Jordan. Let's see what you're made of, man.
All right. So let me just say who won the play-in round for me. I have Winnipeg, Edmonton, Nashville, Vancouver, Columbus, Pittsburgh, the Rangers, and the Islanders. Okay, so first round, good. I'm not going to talk too much about the play-in round because you could see what I think in the previous video. The link is somewhere.
I think it's 5, by the way. Anyway, keep going.
Let's move on to the first round. All right, so not much to say about the Blues. The Blues are just Stanley Cup defending champions. The Oilers versus the Avalanche is going to be a fantastic series. And it's going to be a fantastic series because they have MVP caliber candidate. They have MVP. Both of them have MVP candidates. I think the Oilers get through because I just think they have the better team. They also have McDavid, who, although he isn't a Hart Trophy nominee, he's McDavid. Come on, McDavid.
And they have Draisaitl.
And they have, I said that. They have Draisaitl.
Okay.
And Vegas beating Nashville. I just think Vegas is a pretty good team. I have the Stars beating the Canucks because screw the Canucks. And I'll go on a tangent about the Lightning later, but I have them beating Columbus.
Good.
I have Boston beating Pittsburgh. Not too much to say about that because okay. And I have Washington beating the Rangers. And we'll talk about and the Rangers. I see them beating Carolina because they have. I think they have Carolina's. They have all of Carolina's numbers because they have them. They can put them to sleep. Henrik Lundqvist just has them in a rocking chair. They have another quality goalie who I can't for the life of me remember the name of.
Shesterkin.
Yeah, I have Washington beating them because they're Washington and they're a pretty good team. We'll talk about Washington more later, though. And I have the Islanders beating Philly. I'm going to talk about the Islanders right now. I think the hardest matchup they'll have to play is actually the Florida Panthers because, like Jacob said, they're an underrated team with a great forward corps. And but the Islanders are a streaky team. If they get hot, I think it's the perfect storm for the Islanders to get hot. And we know they can. We know they can go on fantastic streaks. And with the lockdown, it's the perfect storm for them to get hot. If they get past the Panthers, I see them getting past the Flyers easily. If they can go on a run, and they can go far, as we'll see later. Second round, please.
Very, very interesting.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wait.
You have my up there, Jesus.
All right, so we got the Blues, and we got and we got Vegas. I think those are teams we don't really need to talk about too much because Vegas. You're welcome, Ryan. By the way, you're welcome.
Well, Jake, that's not even what I'm shocked about. What I was referring to is how similar it is.
Yeah, and let me talk about the Lightning right here, right now. Actually, yeah. So the Lightning, that's the team I'm rooting for this playoffs because they have been choking and choking and choking, and if you feed them, they will find a way to choke, even if it's water. But
I choke on water.
This is a young team.
Why are you saying about people who choke on water, Jordan? I choke on water. Happens.
Okay, fine. Fair
People-
enough.
Jordan,
Fair enough.
Jordan,
Fair enough.
Jordan, I just want to say I love your bracket so far. I think it is out. I think it's better than my bracket, actually.
Thank you. But the Lightning are a team, and they will get hyped up for this playoffs. They're not gonna. They will spare no expense, because if they choke again, oh my God, they'll be the Capitals. They'll just be the Capitals, and they can really get hyped up for this playoffs, and they can go on a run, because if they don't, complete failure. The Islanders, like I said, they're a streaky team. If they can get hot now, then it'll take them super far. And I mean, it's the right conditions for them to get hot too. Jacob, let's take me to the finals. All right, not too much to say on the Western Conference, because the Blues are the Blues. I really like them after last year's run. I really like them. The Lightning, the Lightning is a team, again, if they get hyped up enough, which they will, because they can't not, then they will absolutely dominate this playoffs. They will absolutely dominate. They're almost, I'd say they're almost as good as the Bruins, but they have that X factor of getting hyped up. And the Islanders, it's a tough loss, because you know what, the Lightning they didn't really face a team that can go on as much of a run as they can, but the Lightning can beat them. It's two hyped up teams, but the Lightning will win.
Right.
And my Stanley Cup.
Jacob had his hand raised.
What's up, Jacob?
Yeah. So you said you're Stanley Cup champions, Tampa Bay Lightning, and I said Colorado in 7. I said this in 7 for a reason. That series that I predicted could have really gone either way. And I think the Lightning, one thing that people are not thinking about with them, a lot of times they have amazing regular seasons and then just flop in the playoffs because they put all their effort into the regular season. By the time they get to the playoffs, they're kind of, they don't really have the same energy they did. Now they're playing.
I disagree. I disagree with that now, because
well,
they'll
just
have
let me
all
finish.
the energy
Let me
in the
finish.
world.
Now they're playing like it's October. Now they're playing like it's October again. That you didn't let me finish. Now they're playing like it's October again, and if you're thinking, obviously they did not have a very good start to the year this year, but I definitely can see with the Lightning coming in rejuvenated, and I could definitely see them going on a run and winning
Jordan,
the first Stanley Cup since 2004.
Jordan, I must say, I do really respect your bracket. I mean, when I said it was better than me, I didn't mean it like that. What I meant is that I find it very good that we're almost agreeing, like very, very close.
Our brackets, Jordan, are actually pretty similar, except pretty much just copy paste the Panthers with the Islanders.
Yeah.
I'd also like to
think
Sorry, my fault, Jordan. But one thing I'd like to say is that Washington, excluding the fact that they once, it was only 2 years ago, had a choking problem. Now that they don't, they probably have the most talent besides maybe the Lightning in this playoffs, except the Lightning actually are chokers right now.
Well,
I feel like it's Washington that should be in the Stanley Cup.
Well, let me explain why I don't have Washington there. I didn't say it before, but I could see them getting complacent here. They've had a complacency problem. I think they've gotten rid of it, but it could resurface here because, one, they have off-ice issues with Braden Holtby. There's a lot of concern around him.
Yeah.
2, Ovechkin, we don't know what's going to – he's getting on in years. I don't have the most confidence in the world in him anymore. He was great this regular season, don't get me wrong, but I'm not as confident in him as I was before. And 3, as I said before, if the Islanders get hot, they have the talent, if they get hot, to absolutely plow because they're a great team. What can I say? It's a good matchup.
Jacob, if there's anything you want to say before we wrap it up, go ahead.
Even though I agree with what you said about the Capitals, and definitely they have had some completing issues, and over the past years, and they definitely could resurface this year. I really disagree with what you said about Alex Ovechkin. When Ovechkin is determined,
I know, controversial. I'm sorry.
When Ovi is determined to do something, he is gonna do it. That's just Ovi for you.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's controversial. I don't fully agree with my own opinion sometimes, but I'm set on that.
All right. So before we wrap it up, I just want to say one thing. We can definitely all agree that the effects of COVID-19 can throw us off completely. You never know what this coronavirus is going to change about our brackets. For all we know, one team that we expected to be nowhere near as good as the other
could have a COVID outbreak.
Best team in this class. You never know. COVID-19 could really change this the way we expect the playoffs.
Though I will say before Ryan, you wrap it up, things are looking pretty good. On the same day that the MLB is kind of shutting down, the NHL came out and said over the entire Phase 3, over all the training camps, they had 2 positive tests out of almost 7,000 tests administered.
That's pretty good.
And over 800 players, coaches, and just staff.
That's impressive, yeah. It's going to be interesting to see how all the leagues do, but I'm going to tell you, I think the NHL is going to be the most efficient league coming back. And I think it's going to be very, very fun to see that they might be one of the only leagues that actually finishes their season. Anyway, guys, Jacob and Jordan, this was a pleasure. We all actually almost agreed very, very well. It's going to be very, very exciting to see what happens. COVID could affect it. COVID could not.
We're going to get screwed later because.
Thank you guys for watching this episode. Feel free to like, share, and of course subscribe. Feel free to turn on that notification bell if you want to hear us idiots talk. And follow us on Instagram, puck_drop_the_LHS_source. That's right, puck_drop_the_LHS_source. Jacob, what is our Twitter?
@ LHS Puck Drop.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, guys.
And leave your comments down below on what you think about the playoff brackets. Goodbye.
That too.